me and let's connect. Hey everyone, it's Beth, your friendly neighborhood swinging consultant. I'm so glad to have you here, taking a walk and sharing our thoughts. Today, I'm in Oakwood Cemetery in Troy, New York, and joined by my friend Meg. When I asked her where she'd like me to take a walk, since she'd get to see the sights too, she practically demanded that I do this here. And I was so excited because I've never visited Oakwood Cemetery before. So, without further ado, come join us.
This is exciting.
You can join me for this. You're the first person who's like, no, no, no. I don't just want to be wherever I am. I want to be here where you are, but not walk with you. You're such a strange and wonderful person, full of surprises always. You're so particular. I feel like I'm so particular too, but in totally other different ways. That's
Mhm.
complimentary to you. I feel like what you bring adds.
It is, yeah, I love cemeteries. I've been drawn to them for years. And I think being around like the most like historical ones,
Yes.
we have a lot of historical figures here. We have a lot of architecture that is different from a lot of places. Especially like if we're talking about downtown, but also here. We have a lot of like my one of my favorite stories. There was a couple, and the man was very filthy rich, and when he died he bequeathed all his money to his wife. This is a man that did not think that women should be educated, did not want them to have the same rights as men. And so when he died, his wife opened a female only college
Right?
with the money
Russell
he gave
Sage,
her.
I
I
think.
didn't want to say which one it was.
I'll cut it out. It's fine. I'm sorry. No, but like,
It's okay.
come on, all female college. You're either talking about the one in Saratoga or you're talking about Russell Sage, which finally integrated.
Oh, it is no longer
Right.
um just for females, but he's buried here,
Yes.
and
Yes.
he's
And
buried
so
in
is
an
Emma Willard.
unmarked well, he's buried in an unmarked, not very extravagant mausoleum.
Oh,
And that was her final dig. And I was like, yes. So he's not buried with family. He's not buried with anything with his name on it. There is a historical plaque outside of his mausoleum, but it's so funny that she helped open up Emma Willard. And then she opened up a female only, a girls only college,
right.
and then she named it after him. And
As like the final dig. Yep.
she could say like, oh, it's because it was the money that he gave me, but girl, we all
I
know
know.
she was a
We
girl's girl.
like powerful women. We do. We
Yes.
we we like we like powerful women. Oh
Yep. So
man,
when I
I have
moved
literally
here,
never been here. I've
what?
lived in and around and worked in and around this area for decades.
It
Not
is
anymore.
so
It's so gorgeous. I
it is
drive past
so
it all the damn
beautiful.
time.
There's so many like my favorite places, or I have favorite trees. There's waterfalls here.
Mm,
There's it's just yeah, we love it. When COVID was really, really bad and everything was shut down, I would come here with my best friend. We would see each other every day, and we'd walk on opposite sides of the paths because that was more than 6 feet. And that is how we stayed sane. And then we expanded to go to like hikes and
there.
things like that. But that was a really hard time. And that was how we kept saying is coming to places like this. Or we'd meet in a parking lot and open up our trunks, sit in the trunks and have dinner
Yep.
together.
Yep.
Like
Social,
you
yeah,
have you
social
have to do
distancing. You do.
you have to do what you gotta do to be sane, right?
Yep. To instill a
Yeah.
little bit of normalcy back in your existence. Totally get it. Okay, we skipped a step here because I forgot to
Okay.
introduce you.
Oh, all right, go ahead. Proceed. Proceed.
Everyone, this is my friend Meg. I have not had the pleasure of knowing her for very long, but she is one of my dear friends and someone that I feel very close to, just like cosmically. I don't know. I feel like you and I were meant to know each other. It's undeniable. So,
Yep.
um, and then so you work in the mental health field, right? Like,
So I think the easiest way to describe it is I do social work. I do
okay,
social work with a particular population. that has particular issues, a lot of like suicidal, homicidal stuff, um,
Goodness.
and just trying to improve the quality of life, right? I mean, I think everyone deserves that, and so that's what I do without giving too much away.
Yep.
Um,
We don't have to
mental
talk
health,
about it too much more, but you
yeah,
are a like a resource. You are a subject matter expert, I guess is the best way that I would put it, because you deal with the depths of humanity every day by
yes, I
profession.
I think technically I haven't been doing it long enough to be considered an expert. But actively doing it and in a world that's continuously evolving and trying to
Yeah,
keep up, it's, you do get in like the bowels of the issues.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's what I do.
That's really, I could not do it. I mean, I guess I'm sort of doing something like it, except I get to like pick and choose who I want to work with, and you're just like, nope,
Mhm.
this person's been assigned to you. This is my job now to deal with. Like,
Yeah, yeah, we do have some, I can only take a certain type of referral, I should say. So there is some like narrowing down of like who, I interact with, but it's all very intense.
yeah. Anyway, yeah. So, I had the pleasure of your company last night when I pitched this
Mhm.
whole concept, and you were telling me that you had a list of like, okay, so like your checkered online dating history is legendary, from what I understand.
This is not what
And
I want to be known for though. Like,
no, 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 no. It's not you though. I think that the thing that everyone is slowly realizing is that your experience, Meg, is the same experience that everyone has with
yeah.
dealing with this shit. Like the crazy may be unique to you in that not everyone has had a man jump out their window to get away from them, but like
No, he didn't. Hold on. Hold on. Because window boy, it was me saying get out the window. It was me saying get out. Go, go.
Jesus,
So
okay, well
so
that
I
rewrites the
want to clarify,
narrative.
he's not running away from me. We were trying to escape unseen
I
because
see
there were little people that I didn't want to explain
his
him
presence too.
to.
Yep. So
Yes.
listen, I actually my the first day that I ever had sex, the day I lost my virginity, I snuck my boyfriend into the house. We skipped school. It was a beautiful day. It was also the day that my best friend's birthday was, which was bad timing. And it was her ex-boyfriend, but she knew we were dating. Like she approved, but like still like I just like really fucking stepped in it. Anyway, the point is, my mom came home because we lost track of time. So he ended up having to jump out her bedroom window to get home. And then later his parents called the house because they knew where he was. And I'm like, it's cool. He's walking home. He'll be home in a bit.
Was this I want to know because my window boy jumped out the first floor window.
Oh, this is the second floor window.
How did I know something crazy? Like you're like, you know what, Meg, I've got you here and I'm gonna up the ante.
Well, so
Um,
it was a second floor window, but he was jumping out onto like a roof ledge that was first story. Like he jumped down to like a slightly higher than normal ceiling where there were skylights, and then he jumped down to the driveway. So like
okay.
it was window to roof to wood pile, which was like 5 or 6 feet tall,
Hmm.
to the ground. So
Okay.
like
All right. That makes it a little
there
bit
was no
better.
trellis, but he had an easy way down. But it was a second floor window that I
But there are ways to get down. Like
pushed him out of almost.
my guy just it was just, but it was like, I don't know, a 4 or 5 foot drop, I think. And he's tall, so like, it's different for him to drop that than me. Because that's my whole body
Right.
length. But yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, I do have a list. I
But that's the
Yeah, do we
point,
want
is
to?
that these experiences are like universal. Like, because people making messy decisions are everywhere, whether it be you being the one who made a messy decision and then someone else has to pay for it, or whether they made a messy decision and now you have to pay for it. Like, it's just a circle. It's all part of maturing, I feel
Yeah.
like.
And, and I think we all will do it. We all will be the ones creating the problem.
Yep.
And then we're also finding ourselves in the problem
Right.
unknowingly.
Yep.
So yeah, I have experiences on both sides.
No, but tell me about it.
It-
Like, I want to hear, because I
so
feel like it's so hilarious, and I probably have similar stories. So,
so my best friend and I, we live together, and we are raising our kids together. It is like a very progressive platonic relationship that
I
we
love
just,
that.
and it's so wonderful. And she has been with me through all of this. Um, and she was like, you know what? We need to keep track of like who's who, because like when you're online dating, you're talking to multiple people at once.
Yep.
So she couldn't keep like names straight, or sometimes it'd be like repeat names.
Yep.
And this is over the course of two 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
Um, and so
Yeah,
we
so you
started
get a
coming up
lot
with
of
like
Steves and
nicknames.
Daves and Johns and
Yeah.
Matts and
So
Mikes and yeah.
so we came up with
Yeah.
like nicknames of like things that were their story, right? So we have, like I said last night, the guy washboard,
Yep.
right? He was like so extremely fit that I've never seen that many abs on a person before. Then we have window boy. He jumped out the window. Um, we have the Nazi. That is self-explanatory.
Oh, I have one of those. Yep,
Yeah.
it's cool. We
And
have, listen, if you don't put it on your profile and you try to hide it, like, I'm
yeah.
Jewish. So, like, if you tell me that for a hobby you like watching documentaries, and the documentaries that you watch are about World War II, and you are not
Mhm.
Jewish, I mean, like, I'm sizing up.
Right, right. You're taking this and what context you're getting it and applying it to your life, and you're just like, "Oh, I might be in
So,
a
like,
bad
sorry,
position
like, when I
here."
watch documentaries, yeah, when I watch documentaries about World War II, it's about the Holocaust. When he watches documentaries about World War II, it's about war tactics. It's like, cool. I don't really want to know which side you're rooting for, because that's just like
Right,
a pile of worms that I don't want to get involved with.
right. This could go
um,
downhill real quick. Yeah.
yep. All right. Who
So,
else you got? The
okay.
Nazi.
So we had, oh my gosh, and she has it written down. That's like how good she is. She's like my personal secretary of my love life. And it's something that I would love to have her come on here, and also because she has her own
Yeah.
stories too. Like, so she is in like an open type of relationship
Hmm.
and has some interesting things. Like, I just got out of a relationship for almost 7 months, and everything was
Yeah.
a lie. And she had been
Sure.
through that with
Yeah.
a partner of hers too. And it was like, this is insane how easily you are duped.
Manipulated. Yep.
Yeah.
I told you, fucking con men, man. Like, confidence is key.
Yeah.
Uh, anyway,
There are
you know,
things now that, like, I pick up on that I didn't before.
you will never look at a profile the same way ever again. You'll be constantly like reading between the lines and going, this is what you said. What didn't you say?
Right, or you said something, but you might have tried to you meant it in a different way, and I
Right.
needed to look at that. Like, my ex would say, like, I don't deserve you. I'm not a good person." And I was thinking like, "Oh," and especially working with, in social work and stuff, I'm like, "Oh, no, that means your confidence is low, and, how can we
Right.
fix this?" No, he was telling me what he was,
Yep.
and I was not hearing it in that context. I was hearing
Well,
it as,
because
"This is the
he,
person I love," and
right.
yeah,
When that
yeah,
happened to me, it
really
was
interesting.
literally the same. It was literally the same. It was, I'm not good for you. You deserve someone better than me. I'm just gonna break your heart. Blah 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 blah. And like, my
Mhm.
empathic heart had exactly the same reaction that you did, in that it's like, oh, no, like, I'm not trying to fix him. It's just like, cool, that's a trigger for me to give him even more nurturing. Like,
Right, and I
he's
had that
telling him he needs more.
conversation.
Yep.
Right, I had the conversation that I am not your mother, and I am not your therapist. Like,
Yep.
even if like you were paying me to be your therapist, those are ethical boundaries that I don't cross. I do not
Right.
do any besides my mom, who's gonna she wants to watch this later. Um my mom used to always say, like, oh, you're gonna have to start charging me, but like you don't do that with your friends, with your
No,
family. That's an issue of ethics.
it is.
Yeah, in good faith you can't give support or advice in a professional manner. So, I did have those conversations with this person. And I remember them, and everything is so like clear now where I'm like, oh my gosh, I missed so much. And is it now that I'm looking back, I'm kind of like, I had a feeling and I ignored it.
You did, but it's so normal to ignore it. Like, because nothing inside you prepared you for the truth. But that being said, this is the identical repeating pattern that these men do. So you will never
Hmm.
fall for that pattern again. You'll recognize it for what it
Right.
is. You'll say, well, that's cool. He told me already that he doesn't think that I'm good enough for him. And I am of the
Hmm.
opinion that when people tell you about themselves, you should listen because,
Right.
like, that's why whenever somebody starts out and they're like, oh, I'm too old for you, it's like, yeah, you are.
Yep. Let's take that. Absolutely. Thank you for telling me a little bit about yourself. I don't need to get to know more.
Nope.
Um, and I think that with online dating, right, there's so much that you miss in text form, right?
It's
And
true.
then there's also like this weird other side of it where you don't want to go and meet this person too soon,
Yep.
and there's a fine balance between, well, how long is too long, and when is the right time. And I think that there have been a lot of people who have been very pushy about
Yep.
meeting so soon. Oh, well, I don't want a pen pal. Or that's great, but I also don't want to be murdered. So I'm still
Right.
doing like a
Yes.
background check on you. Yeah.
I mean, the best indicator of when people should meet is when it feels like if you don't meet, then you're going to lose the connection. But like, that's a different timeline for every person. And sometimes when they're ready to meet you, you're not. So, like, that connection fades. But, like, for me, for example,
Hmm.
like, I connected with a guy 2 weeks ago, and we've been keeping the conversation pretty steady because we're just getting to know each other. Like that's the point.
Hmm.
So, like
Right. I think
I
that
have no idea when or if we're going to meet.
I think to
But it's
clarify
not
on
because I'm looking for a pen pal.
Well, I think to clarify and looking at your
No, go
statement
ahead.
too, because I think there's a lot of people out there who will be like, yeah, I'm afraid I'm going to do that. But like, you're afraid you're going to lose the connection, not lose the person, right? They
Right.
shouldn't be pressuring you to meet, or they're not going to do this anymore. It
Right,
is,
exactly.
this feels really good. This feels natural. I think a lot of times we get confused between like the butterflies in our stomach
Yep.
for something giddy and exciting, but a lot of the time it's your anxiety. It's telling you like, whoa, hold on a second, because something is not right. But you're
Yep.
misidentifying that as that's good. Yeah.
Yep. I agree. And to add to that, I would say too that a big problem is that people fantasize, they allow themselves to fantasize about what they think the person that they're going to meet is like. And
Yes.
it
It's so easy to do that. Yeah.
oftentimes will allow that. It is, you project, oh, I knew somebody who looked like this person or who talked like this person. So, like, you assume a lot of characteristics about them that are not actually based on reality in any meaningful way. And then when you show up and they're nothing like what you expected because you were lying to yourself the whole time, like,
You
oh
made
my
up
God,
this
it's
whole
not.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then but men do it too. It's not just women. I feel like
Oh
men
yeah.
do it even more than women do actually. Like but like I can pinpoint when it happens with women because you're just so disconnected from reality and like actually meeting people and that it is a numbers game and it is exhausting. But like I don't know, it's
Hmm.
so frustrating. I actually find myself doing this myself, like projecting because if I'm having conversations on field, for example, with two different men who are kind of similar in my mind, like through undefinable qualities that I'm judging. Like they seem similar, but like if I was talking to one and that drifts off and then I start talking to the next one, it's like I already attributed that previous conversation to the next guy because in my
Yep.
mind, but like that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make
N-
sense. Why do we do that?
no, but I also think so. Okay, so I also think going back to this, and again, I am not an expert in mental
I mean,
health.
yeah,
Like that is my goal to be, but I am still only like 3 or 4 years in. So
sure.
from just like personal observation, right? A lot of reading, a lot of discussions in class and everything, is that we typically look at a person and expect them to do the things that we would do, expect
Yes.
them to perceive things the way that we would. And I also think that that's the same. Like if you're talking to two different people and they're giving like similar vibes in some type of way, I think it's just kind of like an automatic to apply that to the other person. It's,
Yeah.
taking a step back, I think is not, it's not a bad thing to like kind of reevaluate as you
Yep.
go. But I think that it's so easy to forget that you can continue to go back and apply what you're learning now to those situations and previously. And like, do those things make sense? Do they match up? Is this, does it sound like it's the whole truth? Or are things kind of
Right.
shifting? Or am I applying too much pressure or expectation? You know, I think a lot of self evaluation in online dating is needed.
Going back and
Um,
rereading the conversation and like
yeah.
now that you know more about them and you have all of this additional context, go back and read what they wrote to you, like
Mhm.
consider the conversations that you've had
Yeah.
if you've talked to them on the phone or talked to them on video, like consider all of your information and then decide whether they've been truthful or not, like whether it resonates as truth or whether they've been pretending to be something that you would find attractive.
I think that also my biggest takeaway from my recent heartbreak is look back to like, do they always text you at the same specific time? If they're texting you at the same time, like of day or whatever, is it usually the same thing? So like my ex would text me like during the day, like, hey, hope your day is going well. Remember to drink water, blah, blah, blah. And
He
I
was
had
probably sending
found,
the same text to his wife. I
I
mean,
had found, well, the thing is that I found out that not only was he married, but he also had multiple girlfriends. Some knew about
yep.
me, some didn't. But yeah, it was
Wow.
almost like, so the way that a friend described it to me is like he's a serial texter with these things. And
Yep.
oh, it's my time to check in with my women. And I'm not just saying this just for men. Women do it too. All
Yep.
genders do it. But that was an eye-opening thing. And so it's like kind of like, look, like he wouldn't come over unless it was like after 7 p.m. most days,
Yep.
um that we barely saw each other. Or if he slept over, he would leave like super early in the morning every single time, and he's always busy. So like looking at those pieces too, does it everything line up? Like shouldn't you have
Yep.
more time or different times of the week and days that are flexible, not like super
Yep.
rigid?
Yeah. Like,
And then
how is he spending his time that he's supposed to be by himself? Is it always booked? Is he always going to the gym? Like, because the
yeah,
gym is an
yeah,
easy reason for you to always need to be showering. Is he taking an inordinate amount of showers? Like, are you saying you need to call me by X time because I'm going to be asleep? And then he calls you 90 minutes later because he
mhm,
got caught up putting his children to bed that you didn't know about the children? Yeah, that's what
right,
happened to
like
me.
how many. Yeah, I was told that he had one kid and he was a single dad, preying on my vulnerabilities. I'm a single mom. I have one income. I have a child with special needs, going through a divorce that is almost to the end. I just have to sign a paper. And kind of like seeing those pieces of me, he preyed upon me with those. Oh, I understand
Yep.
what it's like. Or no, my son has special, is super anxious and I have to be there, and that's why, this and this. And being somebody who works in that field, and with youth, I was
Yep.
like, yeah, I completely get that. I completely. So look at the things as, is this person pulling these things that you will be understanding about
Hmm.
and using them against you,
Right.
right? That's also
It's
part of the game
always
that I
so
found
fucking
out.
manipulative. It's so
Yeah.
manipulative.
It's
It's
a
all so
survival
manipulative.
tactic.
It is.
It's a survival tactic. It's the stuff that that person needs to feel good about themselves. It's
Yep.
a control thing. Um, you know, and what it comes down to is what I've realized is that there's a lot of scared people. There's a lot of people who cannot sit with themselves and be quiet,
Yep.
and that's telling.
Yep. Yeah, my ex that did the same thing to me, except longer.
I
God,
I can't imagine.
like, oh my God. Like, I would be mad about it, except that I wasn't planning on having children. So the fact that I was with him from age 29 until 32 wasn't a problem because I was not planning on having children. So wasting those prime childbearing years was not an
Mm,
issue. Like, I just really wanted to make sure that I didn't accidentally get pregnant with his baby. Um,
yeah.
so I'm
Yeah.
glad that, but no, what I was gonna say was, oh my God, I can't remember what I was gonna say. Whatever. These men, he couldn't, that's right, he couldn't be alone with his thoughts. Like,
Yeah.
he was always on his phone, he was always texting, he was always
Yes.
calling people, he was
Yep.
always like he couldn't let his own thoughts sit, because if he did, then
Mhm.
his reality and all of the lies would come crashing down
Yep.
on him. Like, it was hard
Yes.
for him to get good sleep, he was always restless because he was thinking about how he was in the process of duping multiple women at the same time. Like, it's
Mhm.
exhausting. I mean, the poor
Oh, I'm
man, he
sure it's
had to sustain
exhausting.
so many lies just to keep his life going. Can you imagine? I mean, really,
Right.
it's really society paying him back, giving him so many orgasms. I swear.
I feel like, and so I feel like with that part, it is with that part of like, you know, trying to keep up with the lies. Who are you telling what? It, I feel like it takes like an extremely specific person to be able to have multiple lives,
Versions of
we'll call
yourself.
them.
Yep.
Yes. And to keep them all straight. And
Yep.
if you
Well,
question something very simple,
they
you
get
will
very
know by the
defensive.
reaction.
Yep.
Yes. So like this person said like, "Oh, I just bought this car and as a single parent, I had to ask my mom to co-sign for it and my credit is building and blah blah blah." And then a few months later, he said, "Oh yeah, when the lease is up." And I go,
The
"Wait a minute.
lease.
I thought you told me that you bought this." "No. No, I leased it." I said I leased it and I'm like, "I
Oh,
don't
gotta
know
change
if
my
you're
battery.
gaslighting me right now." You're changing your battery on which camera? The
Yeah, no, no,
GoPro?
no. Oh yeah, the GoPro. We can keep talking.
Mm. So
Um,
those little
he
things
was
that you pick
gaslighting
up.
you. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's my favorite thing to say at work is, "Don't gaslight me." Like, don't. That, and also I say at work a lot, "Alright, I'm gonna fuck off.
Yep.
I'm out." Um, I don't say that to clients, but,
No.
coworkers and stuff, I'm like, "I'm done for the day. I've hit my mental capacity.
Do you
Don't
mind
look
if I
directly at me."
put up a picture of your coloring book wall for the people to see? Because I find it so inspiring.
Yeah, yeah. We
It's
have a new
awesome.
one. We have a new one right now, but without going into too much detail either, that space is taken up right now with a lot of food assistance support that I was able to put
Sure.
together,
That's
given
amazing.
the political climate, trying to pull together resources, talking to finance, getting approvals. Like it was just so, while it was chaotic, it was just so empowering to be able to just be like this little person and now having this ripple effect on the community to support them. But that's so that area right now is just like completely covered in boxes and food and bins and things that are going out today and Monday. So hopefully we'll be
Yep.
able to get into the new coloring station after the holiday.
Walking around, I'm like sweaty. It doesn't even matter that it's 35 degrees outside.
I keep looking in the background too. I'm like, do I recognize that tree? Do I?
Here,
There's a few points I
I'll
was like,
turn the
I know
camera
exactly where you
around.
are. Yep, I know exactly where you are. So I
I'm just doing circles.
I love this cemetery. Um, I think so after I split from my husband, we were together for nearly 20 years.
Oh wow.
I would come here, yeah. We started dating when we were like freshmen in high school.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm like, you're not
and
that old.
I've been with him more than half my life.
That's
Right? So
crazy.
that was an adjustment, when that all came down, that came like I wouldn't say crashing down, but it was like you could see it coming and we both accepted it. And so I would come here to this cemetery and then another local one and I would pick flowers. And it was a very like therapeutic activity that I was by myself. I
This is
would
such a
pick
beautiful area.
I know exact yes, I love that one. You're right by the pond. The pond is over to your right.
Okay. Well, then I won't
But
go that way. But I was planning to come over here. So
yeah, no, it's everywhere. You can't go to a bad place in this place. But I would come here and I would pick flowers and I would press them in books and I would be here for hours and
yep,
just grounding myself, being alone, um, just sitting internally working through things. And
yep.
it has become like a sanctuary. I love it. I love it so much here.
That is. I feel like that's how I've been living my life this past month, especially. Like I've always been an introspective person, but like trying to decide to do this whole journey, not just be here, but like this whole trajectory that I'm on has been such a like come to Jesus moment for me. Like in that, you know, admit that this is your destiny and just own it because that's the only
Hmm.
way.
Right. I
So
mean, the one person holding you back is you,
is
right?
me
Because you're
always.
the one, when you're looking at something like doing this, like, I can't do that. There's no way that this is going to be something that I can sustain. I don't have the means or the intelligence, and it's always us telling ourselves that. It's not
Yep.
me telling you like, hey, you're not able to do this. This is way above your education level or,
Yep.
something like that. It's always
No,
us.
it's true. Like, and the fact is that I've done this for a while and I just needed to recognize it in myself. Like, that's been the biggest journey with this whole thing is like, okay, so I've been using tarot cards to sort of like get at the buried parts of my psyche to
Hmm.
like, it's just a form of mirror for me, but also it gives me comfort because it helps manage my expectations. So, like, even though I understand that the tarot cards are not always going to be true, they feel like they're true because the cards that I'm getting back are so meaningful to me. But anyway,
I
the
think
cards were go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think of them as like almost like a guide of where you need to be looking or focusing or
Yes.
making shit happen.
Yep.
Right? I'll see something different and then we'll try to get to that path, right? We'll try to make that happen.
Yep. So like that's really been it is like I feel like I've been on a boat like a sunfish, like the ones that I used to sail with my mom when I was a kid, and I'm like trying to tack against the wind because even though the wind is blowing in one direction and it feels right to go in that direction, I'm like, yeah, but that's not the traditional path. It doesn't make sense. That's not what people do.
Yes.
And like I've been fighting the wind. I've been fighting
Hmm.
the direction that my life is going. It made no sense that I would have this general set of skills and be so passionate, be so empowered, be so motivated to do
Right. But you
this.
feel that it's wrong because that's not what we were
That's
told
not what I was
is
told was an
acceptable.
acceptable path.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like now that I'm in alignment, now that I'm going the way the wind wants me to, I'm on the path that fate has assigned for me and in like on my way to my destiny, okay? Like the tarot's helped me figure out how to get in alignment with myself. And it's been such a beautiful journey. It's been such a beautiful journey. I have done more in these past 3 weeks than I've done for myself and invested in my future ever. Like
I love
it's
this. And I
amazing.
want to say, like, when you're talking about, like, the wind is blowing you down this path, I need to let you know that you are the wind. Like, that is, you are doing it. And I think it's like a safety thing where you think like something else is propelling us. Something else is the one that is driving this and we're just following. No, that's like a protection to like not back off of what you're doing, but you are the one that's doing this. You're saying like,
It's
okay, this
true.
is enough of this shit. This is where I'm going. And if it helps you to think that there's another force doing it for you, that's so
No,
you don't have to feel like, no, I can't do this. I can't. Nope. You're on this path. This wind is blowing you this way. It's you.
you're right. I know that. Okay, so I may not have described it properly, but you are right in that, okay, I am the wind because I understand that in order to step up and be the person in my life that I need to be, I have to become the wind. I evolve from the boat to be the force that drives people forward. And
Yep.
like that's so fucking cool. I'm so looking forward to building this community of like tender-hearted, introspective, curious minds who don't always agree, but understand that agreement is unnecessary as long as you're bringing your
Mm,
truth to the table.
right. As long as that is how you feel. And I mean, I even say this to people who I am so far against agreeing what they agree with. If that is how you actually feel,
Yep.
there will be nothing to take you from the path
Yep.
that you're on, right? If your ground is shaky, the ground that you stand on is shaky, right? That's not for you. It's not. You need to reevaluate. You think most of the time you think that that's the way you need to go, right? And I see this with people of different political stances, right? And there's a lot of times it becomes like a very heated fight. And it's like, well, it kind of seems like you're trying to defend something because you feel it needs to be defended.
Right.
And if your true beliefs were this and you really were aligned with it, there would be no reason to defend it. That's
Right.
how I come to like different disagreements or different views, and I don't need to sit here making you see my point because I see it and that's good enough for me.
Right. But I do enjoy playing devil's advocate just so that people can like see a different perspective because like even when the perspective is flawed, like even if there seems to be an absolute truth that we all agree on as a society as the right way versus the wrong way, you still should consider the other things just so that you understand why the right way is the right way. Because, like, the why of things is important. And sometimes we focus too much on doing the right thing and not considering why we've all decided that this is the right way. Like, and I think that that's a value introspection point too.
That's really developed in like the work that I do. It is the why behind the what
Yes.
or the reason behind the behavior.
Yep.
Um, a lot of times we're looking at these very significant or violent or just completely out of societal norm behaviors.
Hmm.
And it is all a choice of how they're protecting themselves, even against things like in their own head that they're not able to unlock or access. And I think that a lot of times when you figure out the why behind what is going on, what this belief really is for, what this event they're supporting is for, you see them as more of like a fragile, human being instead of like this enemy or this person that you just can't believe thinks this way. Or, I'm definitely not justifying any other maybe
No,
political events that are going
we're
on,
not
but
discussing politics, but
yeah.
it is endemic of a greater issue, which is that
Mhm.
people people are told certain things, and then rather than deciding if that thing is right for them, they just do it. And sometimes that's the right thing, and sometimes that's the wrong thing. But like everyone has to choose for themselves what they're going to do and where they get their information from or whether
Mhm.
they're informed at all. Like, and then they make decisions based on their gut. And in today's day and age, there's so much misinformation that it's even more important to be almost distrustful of the
Yeah,
information that
be
you're getting.
skeptical,
Yeah,
ask
be skeptical.
questions.
Exactly. Do your own independent research to verify. And then
Hmm.
more importantly, like think about how it resonates with you, because it's possible that the sources that you have access to are all propaganda of some kind. And I'm talking about like the way religions insulate people about getting proper sexual education. I'm talking
Hmm.
about the way certain sects of society gatekeep information from their young people, like people who are homeschooling for religious purposes because they disapprove of the public education system and how much they're educate. Like, there's a problem. We are dumbing down our children and our society systematically, and no one
Hmm.
is wise enough to realize that you have to be skeptical. You have to be looking for your own independent answers too.
Right. And I think that just because it is being endorsed doesn't actually mean that it's correct. And I learned this, and I love
Yes.
how like we're like just doing like this broad span of topics, right? But I learned in while doing my bachelor's that textbooks are funded by certain
Oh yeah.
agencies,
Oh
groups,
yeah.
anything like that.
Uh-huh.
And some of the information in there won't, not necessarily it's untrue, but
It's
there's
just a
a lot of
different version of it.
omission.
Yeah.
Yes, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of like things that have been omitted, and it's just like who is funding this? What's their agenda? Um before you
Yep.
actually take what's in that textbook and go. And I do that too with like, peer reviewed like scholarly articles, and
Uh-huh.
who is this? Who is funding this research?
Yep. What are
What did they get
their
out of it?
right? What
Yep.
were they expecting to find? And did their expected results taint their
Hmm.
experiment? Was their pool
Right.
of subjects wide enough? Like, the problem is that most of the studies that are being done about ENM and sexual behaviors these days are just not wide enough, not relevant enough. They're not asking enough questions. So the data that
Hmm.
they're getting back is anecdotal at best. Or
And I think
or
that there's the vetting process for those subjects that are participating in it
yep,
are not the greatest. So you might
no,
have a couple of like those outliers that are like your ex and my ex, right?
yep,
And those are people who completely disrupt like the validity of this, the reliability of it,
yes.
and it's just not, it's going to skew any type of data that you're going to get. Yeah.
Right. No, I agree. I agree. And even like census data, like God forbid, they started asking you even more complicated questions about your like relationships and emotional connections,
Hmm.
right? Like even then people would be like, why does the government want to know this? It's very
Right.
private. So like the
Right.
problem
What are you
is
going to
that
do with this?
right, right. How is this going to be used against me in the future? Because not only do you have my
Hmm.
name and address and who like and my social security number, but like this is tied to like future compensation from the government. So like the
Yep.
problem is that even when people, even when society has created a study that is ethically sound and has a large enough pool of people participating to get a variety and like a real good look at the community at large, people are still going to be choosing how they answer. And it's like
Hmm.
when your doctor asks you how many drinks do you drink a week, and you're like, I drink two. And they're like, okay, cool, seven.
Right. Right. Is it 2 a day? Is it, yeah. So that, I
Right.
mean, it goes off of that as well, where like we always,
We self
um
edit to,
yeah, we
and that's
give
going
what we
back to the
think is
online dating.
acceptable.
Yes, because everyone's trying to edit to the best version of themselves. Everyone's a
Hmm.
little bit ashamed of who they are. And it's so sad because, like, so many people are just in denial. And then they
Yeah.
come to online dating and they're like, I'm just going to be the best version of myself. And then eventually the mask falls away. And what they're
Yes.
left with is a really unhappy relationship because they weren't truthful enough in the first place.
Right. And we look at it too as like the mirror has been shattered, right?
Yep.
Because a lot of people will mirror what they think you need, you want to see,
Right.
by what you're showing in yourself. And if we're not being honest at the time either, so
Right.
we're giving them a skewed view of
Bad
what we're
feedback.
looking for.
Yep.
There's so much going on here, and I think, again, like I said, across all genders, across any type of affiliation,
It's
there's
true.
there's so much misinformation that we're allowing, and it's so easy because your true authentic self only you know.
Yep.
And so you can make I could be, a person that grew up on a ranch and, eats only meat and potatoes and, was homeschooled. I could create that person very easily because no one really has to know unless they
Sure.
look into things a lot more, or they find, evidence around my home or something which I can protect. So, yeah, I think that we're all we're all giving some type of skewed
It's true.
reality.
It's true. Like, and I realized that my field profile was no longer accurate because I'm not an IT professional anymore. Like clearly not an IT professional, but I used to be, and I'm like, shit, I get on people all the time for having incorrect data, need to be updated in their profile, and I am
Mhm.
sometimes the biggest offender of this. Like, it's true, we all are so guilty of it, but at the same time,
Mhm.
like, it's really hard to make sure that everything everywhere is updated to be the fullest version of yourself, especially for people that are like mid metamorphosis like I am right now. It's kind of hard to pin down
Right.
exactly what my energy is because it's not
Yep, it's
exactly going
different.
to change, but it's not going to be the same either.
Right, and are you creating habits that are going to,
Be
show up in
sustainable.
different
Yeah.
personality traits now? Yeah,
I definitely am. I've gotten much more responsible. Like, got up at a reasonable hour, brushed my teeth, had my meds, had my breakfast, made sure that I was fed and watered before I came out here at 8 o'clock in the goddamn morning because that's how we do now when I
such
don't
a
have a
good little
job.
house plant. Yes.
Like before, when I had a full time job, I could not be fucked to get out of bed before 10 o'clock. Like I would stay in bed until I had to log in. And then sometimes I would be logging in from my bed because I'm like, I don't have anything going on for the first hour of the day. But now
Mhm.
I'm like, oh yeah, no, I actually need to be up at 6 a.m. to make this work. So set the alarm, went to bed.
Was that this morning? You got up at 6
Yeah,
AM?
I
For
did.
me?
I did.
Oh my gosh. I think I was asleep at 6 AM. But like I said,
You
like
were
I
certainly
was
sending
up.
me a Venmo really early this morning. I was like, no.
I Okay, let's talk about this because this was my this was my Amazon spree that I did when I was and there was no such thing as time or money.
Right.
And I got so the guy that I was gonna bring last night, we have been, I don't even know what the heck to call it anymore, together, but like we're like our relationship has morphed from being partners, poly partners, right? He's
Hmm.
married to a wonderful lady.
Yep.
Um, and they have a beautiful baby together.
Aw.
And I knew them all before that happened. And
Right.
we would do like weekly dates. We'd go away together. Everybody knew about everybody. We meshed really well. And then, like, he had a baby. I adopted a baby. And so we kind of just started spreading out how often we would get together. Now we do a lot. Well, we see each other a lot more now based on kid play dates.
Sure.
Their daughter, my son are just a few months apart. And now it's like it's hard to schedule time to see each other, so sometimes we'll get, like, a working date in, um,
Yep.
maybe, like, twice a month, once a month. So, we're in, like, this weird, like, we love each other, but
You
we're
just can't be
more,
with each
like,
other right now. That's okay.
yeah, like, we're more of, like, absolute, like, best friends
Yeah.
with that love each other.
Yeah.
Um, and so
That's
I
so
was going
fucking
to
beautiful.
he is an incredible person, um somebody that I would love to have in my life for the rest of my life. Even if he were to like move away or something, I feel like I would not lose the connection with him.
Yeah.
But he oh crap, where was I going with this? Oh, the Amazon thing.
Yes, the Amazon thing.
So for years, we were doing like his birthday's in early December, mine's in
Hmm.
November, and
Right.
then we have Christmas. So we would do birthday gifts and Christmas gifts, and we'd do like only books. We are both big into like academia and all that stuff.
Right. That's
And
how we
so
met.
yeah, so we I was there and I was like, okay, we're branching out this year and trying a few different things instead of just books, right? So here I am on Amazon and I'm looking up like the back hallways of Amazon. I want to find like the weird stuff, right? And
Right.
like I usually go and like look for like oddities on like smaller like mom and pop places, just weird things. Like I tried to order for him and it's so funny. He's just like a very unique person that is open to pretty much everything, wants to try everything. I'm skeptical about his cooking. He made me eat acorn pudding. Didn't make me eat it, but definitely offered it. And I love him. I didn't want to hurt his feelings. And so I tried it and it was the most vile
Huh.
texture, taste. It was not for me. It wound up on the ground.
That's hilarious. That sounds like the accidental time I added condensed milk instead of evaporated milk into my corn chowder. And then it tastes like corn chowder frosting, which is very
Oh my
strange.
God. That's
No amount of
disgusting.
salt, no amount of salt could fix that. So that was a bad
No,
batch.
scrap the whole thing.
Not
Yeah,
even the
that's
celery
awful.
seed. Yeah.
No, it's now a sweet instead of savory, and you can't come
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
Nope. But the bacon and like the bacon made it taste good. It just wasn't the right combination of ingredients. So
No, I don't imagine like corn. I'm sure there's
there were
potatoes in it.
potatoes. Yep, corn
Yeah. Mm-mm.
potatoes. Yep, the whole shebang.
Oh my gosh, that sounds disgusting.
It was hilarious. My other memorable kitchen fail, and if my ex-girlfriend Mel ever hears this, she'll think it's hilarious that I mentioned it. So I used to make farfel eggs, like scrambled eggs with matzo meal in it.
Okay.
Um, and the whole deal is you put the matzah in a cup and you wet it, you like moisten it a little bit, and then
Mm-hmm.
you just add it to your scrambled eggs as they're scrambling. And then the matzah, like, you know, chills in the egg. So I'm like, well, I can apply that same concept with Cheez-Its. No, no. The moment I
No.
wetted them, they became like this paste. It was horrifying. It was
Yeah, no,
absolutely
that doesn't
horrifying.
sound. That sounds like a sensory nightmare. Um,
Was.
Both
Um,
like texturally and taste.
Yeah,
I
and it was like this weird mottled orange color, like, like the kind that you don't want your food to be.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Like that's what your food looks like after it's like already chewed, probably possibly being digested. We don't
yeah,
need to
no,
look
that's
at
what
that.
that's what the vomit looks like when there's blood in it. Like that's not
Yeah.
no,
That's not for me. It's not for you.
we try things sometimes. Like it is
Yeah,
what it is.
sometimes. Yeah, I mean, trying acorn pudding, that
Acorn
began
pudding. I
the
thought wait, acorn or corn?
acorn.
Oh, okay.
I remember this because this brilliant man, like so smart, so just so high up in his ethics and is more like just a wonderful person. And we do weird shit together, right? So like
Right?
going in the woods and foraging for stuff is a regular thing for us. And he was like, I need to find all the acorns I can.
Yep.
And he was over here like smashing them on rocks to break them open, and then he was
Yep.
soaking them for days at a time to
Yep.
remove the tannins, and
Yep.
it was a whole process. It was a whole thing, and I really thoroughly think he enjoyed all of it. The more intricate and strange it is, I think the more he thrives in it.
Yep.
um
He
and one day
probably
when
watches the same forager that my husband and I really love.
who
She's
is it?
I
Yes.
cannot
Yep.
yeah,
Are you
I
talking about
cannot remember.
Black Forager?
Yeah, she always
Yeah.
has the blush on her nose and she's
Yeah,
got
yeah,
that
yeah. So her name
very
her name is Alexis, but she
Alexis.
calls herself, her channel is Black Forager,
Yes, Black
unless it
Forager.
changed.
I
Um,
love her content so much. He and I like share it with each other. She makes me so happy. I would love to
yeah.
meet her one day.
Happy snack and don't die. Like, yes.
Yes. Happy snacking. Don't
Cause I'm a filthy vegan. Yeah.
Yes. I am
I
whatever
love
the
her stuff.
opposite of a filthy vegan is, though. I eat all kinds of things and
I'm a
people.
filthy garbage truck. That's what, so is vegetarian
Mm.
and has now kind of migrated over to cleaning up whatever I won't eat,
Oh,
whether it's meat or not. And it's so
fair.
funny to see that evolve too. In his eyes, it's like, well, it's already been
Made.
slaughtered. It's gonna
Yep.
go to waste. It's more ethical for me to use
Eat
it
it.
for nutrients than
Yep.
waste it. And I love that about him, but it's so funny to see that like evolution of this man who is so extremely vegetarian, vegan borderline to now being like, yeah, I'll finish that. Like
This is
thanks,
where
because I can't.
you
Where
can't
are
really
we?
see the
Oh, I know
the
exactly where you are.
yeah,
That's the
the river
bird.
valley is over here.
Yep.
It's so
Yeah,
pretty
there's that
here.
giant mausoleum that you just went by.
Yep.
Hmm. Yep.
Yep.
Uncle Sam's grave is around there.
Cool. I mean, Uncle Sam was such an influential human being.
I think they
I
abuse now, like him.
Yeah, it's true. But listen, Troy is beloved to me. Like
Hmm.
some of my best memories were made in Troy. Some of the best times that I've had have been in Troy. The most growing up that I've ever done has been in Troy. So like
Yep.
this is always a significant place for me. And the fact that I passed my veterinary office getting here because I take my cats to Oakwood Veterinary. So like
Yep.
I'm
I used to
here
take my
all the
dog there.
time.
Yeah.
I'm here all the time, but like I don't come here ever.
No,
But
you
now I
need to
will.
make more of a point. Do you see how like
Yes.
peaceful this place is? It's just so like quiet. And I think like maybe touching back on the beginning of this podcast, we're like talking about dating. I'm pretty sure it's in my profile that I love being in cemeteries. And there's two ways people take that. They're like, ew, why?
And
Or
yeah, I
like,
totally get it.
or they'll take it and they're like, oh, you seem like a kinky girl. And I'm like, uh,
Ew.
I just love
I love the
cemeteries.
quiet, the
Well,
serenity.
that's the thing. I'm not getting catcalled walking
Nope.
these roads. I feel
Not
safe.
one
I'm not
person has catcalled me yet. I mean, maybe the dead are enjoying the view, but they're keeping their opinions to themselves. So
right. That's the thing is that it's peaceful, it's quiet, it's beautiful. And it's almost like people just respect things differently here than they
Mhm.
do on the street. It's almost like this is not for you. You're not here to observe people,
Nope.
right? Who are here walking. This is a very popular place for people to come walking and ride their bikes and kids running around and um
But it's all
but
very respectful and done in a
yeah.
reverent way.
Right. I'm not approached when I'm sitting up against a tree reading. But
Right.
sure as shit, when I'm at school on campus and I'm in like one of their green spaces, yeah, I get catcalled just sitting there on the lawn. Like, yeah. So this is definitely like a sanctuary of a place.
It is a happy place for sure. It's
Mhm.
crazy that they still have plots available. Like, can you imagine
Oh
being
yeah.
buried in the same cemetery as Emma Willard or
Right. So
Russell
that is
Sage?
those are things that I think about. Yes. Like the historic people and not even like that too, but just like how old it is.
Yep.
And the thought that like these cemeteries were created as a place for families to come and picnic,
Yep.
right? Like we've gotten so far away from that. But
We
just to
have.
think you're walking by these beautiful monuments, right? Or these hundreds of year old trees. Like one I'm looking at right now has got to be at least 100 years old. And you're thinking like what has this tree seen? What have we done? We've had HBO come here and film for the Gilded Age.
Yep. Yep.
Just because it the age of this place, the significance that it holds with the people
The
that it,
history here.
yeah. Someone was just driving by and I was trying not to be like a weirdo, like talking to myself because you can't really see my phone where it is. So it's like I'm just
Yeah.
having a conversation with myself
I
in
mean,
my
that's
car.
fine. Was not the only person walking around talking to someone on a video call today. Like,
Oh,
I'm just the
okay.
only one filming it right now.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
Okay.
no, there was somebody on like a FaceTime call earlier. And I was like, oh cool, good. I'm not the only one disturbing the peace right now. Sweet.
There's no disturbing the peace because you're doing it respectfully. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like places like this are meant to be enjoyed. by the people who appreciate them.
Mhm.
And like my
Yeah.
whole deal is I'm choosing places that only pedestrians go. I mean, yes, you can drive around the cemetery, like,
Mhm.
and obviously people, like, there's someone driving right now, and that's cool. But like, for the most part, it's pedestrian only, and that's the deal. That's the vibe here. So
Mhm.
that's
Yep.
what I want.
Yeah, I love it here. The next time we do this, we'll do it at Albany Rural.
Albany
Um,
Rural for sure.
yeah. They
Oh,
have like
Uncle Sam's
hiking
grave is
trails
this
through it.
way.
Oh yes, you're gonna go see. It's very underwhelming.
That's fine.
So, I
You
mean,
mean
there's
there's
like a
not
whole
a giant monument to him like the one over by the bus stop in Troy?
fine.
Yeah, so finishing up because she had to come get me to come see Uncle Sam's grave. Pardon my nose here.
Cemetery rescue.
Yup, exactly.
I've been there.
I was in the wrong part of the cemetery. This place is huge.
Yeah, it's a really big. Like it just keeps going, and they keep expanding it. And yeah.
It's awesome though.
So I thought this is where you were coming, and so I was like, no, there's gonna be a path that goes up a hill, and then you're gonna take the immediate right. And I was like, I don't know. But then I realized, oh my God, there's so many forks.
There were so I was following an arrow like that, but it pointed me to the wrong. I don't know. Anyway, this is amazing. I'm so glad we did this today. I can't wait until we do the Albany Rural Cemetery.
Any excuse to get me to these places is,
Right?
that's just what works all the time.
Anyway, say goodbye to the people.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. We'll see you next time. Mwah. Uncle Sam's gravesite, y'all. Samuel Wilson. Well, there you go. Thank you again for joining us today. Join me next week, Sunday, November 30th, for the next episode.